and we only spend 7,000. You
Wow.
understand? So I'm just trying to, like he's good at what he do, but I want to take it to like spend 100 or 200,000 a month, but I'm building it up.
Yeah, for sure. And when you're scaling up, that's when you have to capitalize on your email list because you're getting so many leads coming in. So I've been getting a lot of questions. Which agency type or model should I start? I'm sick of my hamster wheel agency and I feel like I'm working a regular job. Yeah, I do have clients, but I just physically feel like I can't fulfill, and handle all the workload right now. It's taking up all my hours. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. And this wasn't the vision I was planning on when I was starting my own agency, being your own boss. It just kind of feels like you're working a job. And don't get me wrong, this happens to a lot of agency owners and I don't want you to be one of them. And despite all the SMMA gurus online saying SMMA is the shit and it is the business model to go for, it's true. It is a great business model in terms of cash flow, but it is one of the hardest business models to get amazing at. You can't really exit the business because your clients actually are with you because of you. And if you just pass them on to another company, they'll probably leave them too. But all in all, agency and SMMA is probably the best for cash flow. And that's my opinion. I was at a dinner last month with a group of 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs, and they all run agencies. And there's this one guy, Eddie Malouf. I don't know if you heard about him before, but he is the co-founder of Bad Marketing along with Ash. I was with him at WebinarCon last night, and we were just talking a little bit. And I was also with Anik Segal. I don't know if you guys know about him too, but he is the founder of WebinarCon, and we were just having a talk. This Anik guy, he's made 8 figures in sales just by running webinars. And he was asking Eddie, hey, Eddie, why do you do what you do? At such a high level of running an agency, one of the best and biggest agencies out there. Search up Bad Marketing, that's their agency right there. You guys can, learn a lot from their model and their business model, but they go very against the grain. They don't work like the traditional agencies do. But I was taking away a few key points to apply to my own agency from him. But actually, when Anik was asking Eddie, hey, why do you do what you do at such a high level? You could be spending your time on other businesses, exiting, building software, but you're like almost 40 years old, right? Why are you running still an agency? And Eddie replied with a very interesting answer. He said, well, I just want to learn. Like, what other business out there will allow you to be, dip your toes into so many other different businesses and just learn from that so you can then finally craft your own offer and just go big and exit on that. So that was one of the reasons why he still pursues an agency. And that's also one of the reasons why I am too. I'm still young, I'm 23 years old. So this is the time to really just learn from different industries. And that's why it's so important to actually, and so powerful to start an agency. That's one of the major upsides. And that's also why I love it. And also the cash flow, it's great. You get cash coming in every single month, unlike a SaaS, which you have to put money in. But yeah, it's different. But the lesson here is just he's in it for the game. He's in it to get good. He's in it to learn. And that's just kind of the mindset I want to share with you today. Rather than just always going for the sale, always going for the clients. It's all very transactional, but he's just there to learn and get good at skills. So if you just focus on getting good at one skill, it's going to pay you for years to come without ever having to worry about doing outreach, taking the sales calls, because if you got skills, you've got leverage. So I don't know if you noticed about me already, but I did get started off in the e-com industry, just running paid ads and Facebook ads to e-com brands. So this was back in 2019, 2020, I believe, when I was back in Hong Kong, still in college. My business partners and I actually rented out an office in downtown Hong Kong. And if you didn't know already, but Hong Kong is like the Asian version of New York. The rent is crazy expensive there. I think it's even more expensive than New York. But we were paying like $2K a month for a really small office in downtown Hong Kong. But the reason why we actually rented that office is because we were signing clients in person and I was working out in my bedroom at that time. So we, as partners and my business partners, actually needed a place to actually, actually take meetings and actually sign clients in person. So, back in 2019 and back in 2020, we were signing clients in person and I had 100% close rate. Shortly after, cough season came and we just all had to move our meetings online. That's when my close rate started to drop down to 50, 40, and 30% even. But the most important lesson that I learned from these 2 years of running ads to these businesses is how to generate traffic and leads for business. It was super tiring having to film the ads for our clients, schedule them, scale them, and doing this for many, many clients together. I started getting really tired and just kind of frustrated because we just felt like we were in a hamster wheel. We also had to learn how to hire because we were, based in Hong Kong and we had majority of our clients in the US. We did get started with Hong Kong clients first and that kind of trampolined us to US clients. But most of our clients were in the US and that's why we had to start hiring people. So that was also a learning curve for us. And we actually had a great time at that office. Like, although we weren't making that much money, it was still a really fun time. And we were spending like the weekends, Friday nights, inside the office filming ads for our clients. So those were the grindy days, man. So we then dove into email marketing and copywriting when one of our clients were asking us to do split tests on their pages. And we just changed up a few words on, on their landing page, selling a clothing brand at the time. But we did a split test and we just changed the button text from buy now to get yours now. And it was super interesting. The conversion rate almost doubled. It was a 1.5x in conversion rate. So just by changing like a few words on the button, we were able to get so much more business for our clients. And that's when we realized the power of copywriting and writing emails for our clients, because we also have to apply that copywriting into our email marketing, right? We then started learning more and more about copywriting, writing emails, and we also even hired mentors to, improve our skills and to learn from, so we could get better at writing copy. Because if you get better at writing copy, that's just, a better skill. And the better you are at that skill, the more money you will make as a byproduct of being good at that skill. So then we got really good at copywriting, and then we highly pushed our performance-based pricing. And that's actually what really got us to the 6 figures a month mark in terms of our agency. And that's actually kind of like where we are now. We're trying to scale to multiple 6 figures, and we're making our clients a lot of money from email marketing and copywriting. And especially because a lot of our clients they had so much traffic. So at that point, we actually should be constantly split testing. And it's also what allowed us to ask for so much in terms of payment, because without us, they wouldn't be recouping all of that sales from email and copy. So they kind of really need us, and it's hard to replace someone if they're like generating you multiple 6 figures a month and even millions a month, which we were doing at the time. And that's actually why our team decided to go full on copywriting and email marketing, because that was the one thing that worked for us. And it was a great trade-off between time and return on investment. Because if you think about it, if you're running ads, you have to film, you have to film the product, to film the ads, you have to edit it, you get editors to edit it, you then have to get a media buyer to schedule it, and then you need a project manager to keep an eye on when these campaigns are going out, when these campaigns are being killed. So it's a lot more moving parts and a lot more stress on your part. I'm just speaking from experience here. I'm not sure about your experience if you have done media buying before, but that's why my team and I fully went on email marketing, because we just felt like it was less stress and less headaches on our end, and we were just recouping sales for our brand. So it wasn't really, the top of funnel. We're not really managing ad spend, but we do also do paid ads right now for clients who actually ask us to do paid ads for them. Because they only trust us because we've generated so much money. Then they're like, oh, can you do our ads as well? So it's a pretty natural kind of step when you sign on clients for one service. It's kind of normal to offer other services on top of that too, which we'll also talk about too. But yeah, if you guys read The One Thing, it's a really valuable book. And actually, I brought a couple of books with me today. This one is The Ultimate Playbook. This is how to train your sales team. So I'm just revisiting these. This is The Millionaire Success by James Malinchak. He actually spoke today at WebinarCon, which was super valuable. He's the most requested speaker in the world. So if you guys haven't picked up his book yet, this is also a very valuable book that you guys can use to scale your agency and really get good at the mindset of business. So since we're on the topic, email marketing and copywriting is very similar in terms of the services and the fulfillment. So what I do is I offer email marketing as one service, and I also offer copywriting as a second service. And I tend to offer these separately because if I say copywriting and email marketing into one service, they just think it's one package. In reality, it's actually 2 separate packages, although you kind of need to have good copy in your emails. Hey, real quick, I'm currently looking for 2 more students for me to personally mentor to get good at email copywriting and email marketing and start signing your first few clients. And once we see you actually are, you're good at copywriting, good at email marketing, you can actually deliver on that service and you actually perform well, we can actually then refer you clients, have those clients work with you, because we actually have a lot of clients wanting to work with us, but we have a wait list. We don't have the capacity to work with everyone that we want to. So a lot of these clients, we can then, hand it off to you. So if you're interested in joining this offer, I'm only taking on 2 more students and I'm going to be raising their price next time. So if you're interested, click on the link in the description below to actually apply for this position. We will reach out to you if it's a good fit. But from what I've seen, this is a pro tip here, clients actually, value your services more if you actually give it to them separately and charge separately. So let's say you charge a $2K a month retainer for email marketing, and you also charge a $2K a month retainer for copywriting. You guys can do that too. You can stack services. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. You get paid more and you also get to provide more value for the client so they make more money. And also, just if you haven't really grasped the importance of copywriting, imagine just being in a 100-meter or 100-yard dash, like a Usain Bolt in the Olympics, right? The first place will probably win, I don't know, $1 million, a few $1 million. The second place will probably win what, like 30 grand, 40 grand. And the third place will probably win what, 5 to 10K, right? Or maybe even nothing at all. And what's the difference between, the second and the first place? Probably like 0.01 seconds. And what always happens during these races? The first guy runs really fast, the second guy's always just a little bit behind him, right? Probably like 0.01 seconds behind him, or 0.01 seconds later than him, right? Slower than him. That's the difference between second place and first place. Same goes for, swimming, horse racing, baseball too, basketball too. And what does that cost you being second place? $970,000, right? You could have made $1 million, but you just made 30K instead for being 0.01 seconds later than the first place. So if us copywriters can come into businesses and even just increase our conversion rate by 0.01%, that would beat out quite a lot of competition already. We're changing lives here. We're changing businesses here. So every business desperately needs copywriters and email marketers. And that's why we actually decided to go with email marketing, copywriting. versus SMMA. You can easily go out there, start writing some emails on a Google Doc and start reaching out to brands and business owners, companies to work with, and land your first client in 15 days or less. I've got a free Telegram chat for email marketers and copywriters that I just started. There's only like 3 members in it, including me. So if you want to hop in and actually ask me a few questions while the community is still very, very small, I'll be on there. You guys can actually ask me questions personally. I'll be answering. Make sure you click on the link in the description to join the free Telegram chat. And I hope to see your face pop up. And I probably won't be able to answer questions once it starts getting more crowded in there. So do hop in now and ask me some questions and I'll be sure to get back to you. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is that with email marketing, the beauty of email marketing is you get to charge also performance-based pricing off of campaign revenue. Like if you're on a sales call with like a decently sized brand or business and you take 10% of their campaign revenue. So if you don't know what campaign revenue means, is that with email marketing, there is campaigns or broadcast. They're the same thing. They just named differently on different platforms, but it's on Klaviyo, it's named campaign. On Active Campaign, it's also named campaign, but I think on ConvertKit, it's named broadcast. So, and also automations is also different. Automations include like welcome flow, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, but campaigns are basically one-off emails that you send to your list. Back to the topic, if you're on a sales call and you're working with a decently sized brand, and let's say you take 10% of their campaign revenue, which means that every single day when you send an email out, you take 10% of all the sales that you make from that email. And keep in mind, these brands have email list size of 100,000 to 200,000 people. Each email being sent will potentially make this brand $10,000, $20,000, even $30,000 plus, depending on how good your copy is. And you're taking 10% of each email. And bro, that's why it's so important to actually realize how powerful email marketing is and copywriting is, because you just ultimately make yourself more money, right? And it's very high leverage. You don't have to spend that much time writing emails, and you're literally flipping brands around and delivering a product to the customers that they need. Like we're literally flipping brands around. We're like Alex Hormozy, but for e-com brands, right? Remember, good marketing is selling people stuff that they actually need. So we're actually here making a positive impact in the world. Another plus of email marketing and copywriting is that there's much less moving parts. I mentioned this earlier in the video, but for ads or short form content agency, you need to have editors, you need to have people who deal with the front end, you have to have project managers. But for email marketing and copywriting, you just need maybe an email automations guy and maybe an email design guy. And if you're really scaling like to 100K a month mark, maybe a project manager too. You can generally keep your team relatively lean, and you can make up to 80K a month just by working with your best friend or just having one hire. And also, I got D's and E's in English back in high school, and I actually took English as a second language for 6 years straight. So you don't have to be a professional writer. You don't have to be good at English. You don't have to be like a literature artist to be able to write copywriting and write good emails and sell online. You can literally get good at it really quick, and just by putting in a bit of practice every single day. It's not that hard. So yeah, by now, if you haven't noticed, I'm a big fan of email marketing and copywriting, and that's the reason why I'm actively in it and still scaling my agency and working with clients every day. I like being in the game. It just forces me to be sharp, forces me to learn more. But yeah, make sure you follow me on Instagram too at heshugo, HESHUGO. And if you enjoyed this video and found some value today, give this video a like and a comment. Can't wait to see you next week.